We don't want your money. We want real personhood. Real people. The reality of our people must be elevated. The reality of who we are, what we can do, and what we can manifest. Because when you strengthen that reality, everything that has tried to oppress it becomes an illusion. Y'all hear the point that I'm making? When you strengthen the reality of who you are, anything that tried to oppress it becomes an illusion. And the only way you can dispel an illusion is by strengthening the reality. You can't dispel an illusion by going at an illusion. You can't fight an illusion. But if you concentrate on the reality, illusion will dispel. You're going to sleep, you're having a bad dream. You don't dispel a dream by fighting in the dream. You simply dispel the dream by waking up to who you are. You're the dreamer. You feel the point I'm making? And when you awaken to you that you're the dreamer, that you're the real person, you wake up and the illusion just simply goes away. This Disney World shit of this white man is an illusion. Him walking around with badges and all this shit and military uniform, it's an illusion. When we wake up to who we are, that shit will come to an end instantaneously. But we must give reality to that. We must give reality to who and what we really are. Then we begin to see the power of ourselves. We begin to see the benefit of who we are. And by taking advantage of our own benefits, then we find ourselves in a circumstance of advantage. And we find ourselves in a position of authority. But we got to anti-socialize. Stop believing the social lies of what we can be, do, and have, and even what we need. Because the belief in what we need is keeping us from doing what we really do need to be doing. People can be helping build our community and just changing our neighborhoods, but they believe they need a pair of Jordans. That's socialization. And those are people who are ignorant. But even us conscious people, we believe we need all this shit. You ain't gonna die without none of this shit. We, even as conscious people, believe that this so much is needed. But the need helps keep his illusion going. It helps keep his illusion going. They said that in order for us to have this meeting and do this, we need this hot water, we need this, we need that. And everything you think you need, you'll be paid for. You'll be exploited for your needs. But you can rise off what you can have. Y'all hear the point I'm making? You can be exploited for your needs, but you can rise off what you actually have. We must stop becoming needers and must become havers. Those are divine custodians. Those are people who can turn what they have into something more. We got to become those people. But we're needers. And he said, since you need a job, then I'll exploit your labor. If you need a Disney World experience, I'll take your money and charge you $10 for a hamburger. You need me. You need me. So we must begin to stop being socialized by him. Stop letting the need to be in his society, in his world, in his reality govern our mindset. And then we'll begin to make do with what we have. And once we start making do with what's actually there to be had, we will establish a marvelous community. This building, we've always had it. And 30 buildings like this, we've always had it. We've needed to pay our rent every month. Y'all hear the point I'm making? We've needed to give him our money. That wasn't what we had. What we had was what nature had provided. Bricks and mortar and grass and land. Nature provided this. Nature provided people who didn't build all this shit and died. Nature provided them to build this shit so that we can have it. Because there's people who have built this shit is dead. Most of this shit. Y'all hear the point I'm making? So nature even used them to construct something for us. Do y'all hear me? Nature used the dead to construct for the living. So it's people that has built some of these houses and they're dead. nature was using them to house the people that was coming after them. So we have all this land. We have all this community. But now, instead of us needing to pay the white man, needing to be a part of the white man's system, needing to be a part of the white man's society, need to be accepted by those who constantly need the European. Once we cut that off, we begin to build off what we have. And then we have a marvelous community. We have all this land that we manage. And we building it as we do, not as we need. Do y'all hear me? We're building the land as we do it, not as we need it. We building the land as we are building it, not as we need it. I saw properties 10 times bigger than this. 10 times bigger than this. Literally. They're available. For us to have. Ain't nobody got nothing to say about us having. If we can take those properties and build them for where they are, get people to believe in our black reality. But we got to be there first. We got to be there first. When I first got this property, the brother told me, he said, I don't see nothing here. When we first got this property, the brother said, this look like nothing, brother. I said, just wait, brother. Didn't you, brother?
Yes, sir.
He said, this don't look like anything. I said, no, brother, I have a vision here. This is something. This is our community that we have been looking for. I'm like, this is it. But it looked like nothing. But the brother, he said, well, since you said something, brother, I'm going to go with it. He said, since you see this property or something, I'm going to take a chance, brother. No. He invested his energy, time, and resources into helping make this what it is now. And not just him, other people. Because now he accepted a black vision. Because Disney World was nothing till they threw Mickey Mouse out there in the grass. And then people believe in that and pay thousands of dollars and go play that. I'll tell you where the pale Arabs are at in Saudi Arabia. That's nothing. But you pay $2,000 or $3,000 talking about you going to make Hajj. To be walking around in a hot-ass desert with some sweaty-ass Arabs. You pay $2,000 to do that. You don't even have a... I mean, that literally, it's nothing there but a black box. Let's keep it real. It's a little black building, and they all just walking around falling out. It's not even standing room. And they paying all this money to go over there and to be among these pale Arabs. Because the Arabs' vision was so powerful that this is a holy place. This is the place. He has projected that and marketed that and propagated that to people of all nationalities believe in that. But it's nothing but a desert. Y'all hear the point I'm making? With a little black building sitting in the middle of it. So if you will pay thousands of dollars to go all the way to deal with some Arab with camels shitting all over the place, they don't even have washrooms over there in some places. If you will pay $1,000, you mean to tell me we can't project a black consciousness of black reality and people support that and build that up? Why are we calling ourselves gods and goddesses? But that's because we have to be so anti-socialized that we're so solid in a black reality that is so secure that people are like, I'll invest in that. I see your vision. They're not seeing the material world. They're seeing the consciousness of black gods and goddesses. We invite them into our matrix so they see what we see. We say, well, that's a holy place. They say, well, it's a holy place there. Let's turn it into it. Y'all see the point I'm making? How did any of this become anything? Some man had a vision, a thought, and they believed in something, and they begin to be so secure and convinced about that they begin to transcend that idea to other people. And those people supported and invested in that with their time and energy, and eventually it became something. Correct?
Go ahead.
But how could they begin to believe in their own mind and their own thoughts and believe in a black nation, a black enlightened community, a black divine reality, how could they begin to believe in that if they still believe in Disney World? You got to step out of Disney World long enough to stay solid on a black reality, so when you go back in there, you're bashing Disney World. And people are like, well, I want to get into the real reality. They said before a rich man can get into heaven, a camel could get through the eye of a needle. Why is that? Because the riches is already in heaven. Not because you're going to give up all your shit and become broke. But the wealth is in heaven, and heaven is a state of mind. So when you get into the state of mind, you get into heaven. So black nationalism is first a state of mind, it's not a land. Because it's the state of mind that develops the land. It's the state of mind that directs the resources and the energy to make the land something. Land is not sovereignty. The mind of man is sovereignty. Land is not nation building. The mind of man is nation building. So when we, as conscious people, can occupy any space totally and absolutely secure about nation building, that place becomes nationalistic. But the person and the people must be there absolutely and totally secure in that state. And that place becomes the holiest place in the world. Y'all hear the point I'm making? Not because of what is there, because of the mind of the individuals that are there. And if they can just be there with that mind state long enough, the atmosphere in the place begins to take on the mind of the individual that's there that is totally secure. Y'all hear the point I'm making? We stood here in the house, me and the brother Red. There was nothing here. What you see now, there was nothing. But a blank space. That space eventually turned into the brother invested in the carpet cleaner and then us cleaning the carpet. That still developed into people donating things to make it what we said it was. They just gave this stuff. These pictures and all the stuff you see, it was donated. Every single aspect of everything here was completely donated by people who begin to what? Contribute to the reality of the solid state of mind of whom people existed in it. The power of the mind of Prophet Muhammad was so powerful that people believed in the vision that he saw thousands of years later. How powerful is our minds today? That's all them people walking around in the desert, walking around that box is doing. Is accepting an idea that was projected by another living human being. And they believe in this reality. They can't even prove it. Prove that Allah said anything to Muhammad. Prove it. You have to have faith. That's one of the pillars of Islam. You telling me to believe in belief. But his conviction and his ability, his security in that state was so solid that they accepted. That's what black nationalism is. It's contagious once the individuals become absolutely and totally secure. Outside of the secure state of an individual, there's no black nationalism, even though there's black people walking around, but they're white beings in black bodies because the vision that they have accepted come from the white boy. Food is only good at McDonald's. If you made a hamburger and said, "Bro, brother, eat this hamburger that I made," they'll say, "No, McDonald's is good." You're not even tasting the food. You're tasting white supremacy. It ain't the beef or the actual meat or the bread. It's Disney World. I get to sit here with Ronald McDonald. I get to sit in Burger King and wear a crown on my head. I'm a king in Burger King. So what are they buying into? They want to be a king for a day in Burger King and have it their way. So it's not, they're not patronizing society. They've accepted divisions in their mind. And they believe in it, and they're substantiating in that. This is religious piety that these people have to these corporate institutions. They believe in the mission statements. The employees believe that they're working for a viable corporation or institution. They just simply believe, and they go to work every day out of belief. They're not working for the money because they splurge their money. They splurge their money Everything they bought with the money they lose in the flood, and they still go back to work. So you wasn't working for the money.
Sure.
You're working for your belief